Hello everyone, welcome back to Spar&Brawl. Hope you're having a decent day. As always, I'm joined by my co-host Sam. And just last night, Saturday evening, I came across this gem of a video between Piers Morgan and Ben Shapiro. So they're pretty much having a conversation, and it's really about what government ought to do. I mean, the level of the conversation is really that of a 5-year-old. And Piers Morgan
5-year-old
comes, yeah,
against a 2-year-old. It's
not
just
two 5-year-olds. I mean, Piers Morgan comes out looking like the savior of humanity. I mean, the things that he's saying. And, okay, basically, his view of the government is just like the most basic, like, it's just a typical liberal one, but he explains it in like a very childish one. And then he uses, like a bunch of generic, meaningless words. He says the government should be responsible. I don't know who would disagree with that. He says that the government should not be people pleasing, whatever that means, but he says, it should as closely follow the platform that they were elected on.
usually people who say that government shouldn't be people pleasing, they do want the government to please these
There's,
people,
yeah.
not other. It's just, yeah, I know,
But
there's
he
generic
gives like the most basic thing. I mean, his
jokes.
his examples were so you can tell how basic, like about the level of government. The two examples that he gives, one is smoking. He's like, are you okay with like, the government bans smoking inside in some places. And then the hilarious one is about drunk driving. And it's as if Ben Shapiro, anything that's, so he's like, are you okay with the government not letting people, drunk driving because it's a hazard to others? Just the typical liberal argument, right? You're allowed to do whatever you want as long as it doesn't infringe on other people's rights and their ability to do whatever they want. So, I mean, the examples are this basic. And Ben Shapiro, so I'll just play his Piers Morgan says that, are you okay with that? They don't let people shouldn't be drinking and driving. And then Ben Shapiro, so I'll play his response right now.
Take the drunk driving example. It's a better example. So the drunk driving, obviously there are obvious externalities to people weaving all over the road. And the way that you actually police drunk driving is by pulling somebody over who is weaving all over the road and driving recklessly. So you could theoretically have a crime defined as reckless driving without the actual drink being a part of it per se, because, if you drink in your home.
And his response, I mean, it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. It's as if he doesn't understand even what is the problem with drunk driving. He's like, well, they're trying to control reckless driving. So if someone's swerving around, you don't actually need to make it a law about drinking. It can be about reckless driving, and then then you can give them a fine or whatever. Like, drunk driving isn't about just becoming reckless. It's about losing your faculties, perhaps falling asleep, or a million things, making bad decisions, and a million things that can go wrong. And secondly,
Well,
this
and
is what I found. Sorry, let me just. This is what I found even funnier. He seemed like he was opposing like a government intervention, but then he just made a stupider government intervention like suggestion. I mean, they're both in a way government interventions. He just said something much
well,
stupider and dumb.
I guess he's saying that we should specifically aim for the activity that is putting people in a harm's way.
Which is the
But
drinking. I mean, I don't. It doesn't make any sense.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, I'm a bit biased on this because, as you know, I'm not a big fan of cars or driving, and I genuinely don't think they should have allowed normal people to have kind of like guns. I don't understand how everybody's cool with cars being allowed. Everybody's allowed to drive a 2-ton metallic
Well, you're
device that
supposed to
can
get a
basically,
license and everything. Not everyone is allowed.
and that's
Just
very
randomly.
difficult.
It could be.
You know,
Yeah.
well, for me, it has been, to be fair. It's been impossible for me. So I don't, yeah, fair enough. But I would say, yeah, it's just, again, first of all, driving under the influence is illegal, not just drunk driving. If you
Yeah.
have morphine in you and drive is also illegal, as far as I know. And uh, it's just so idiot. Like, obviously, reckless driving on itself is a crime, but then you have something when you're under influence, it's unintentional. It's a whole different debate. It was one of the weirdest things because in the interview, Piers Morgan clearly has sympathies with Ben Shapiro as a right winger that says crazy things like him. So he
Yeah.
doesn't really push for it, but he's completely talking nonsense.
I
He's
mean, Ben
just
Shapiro.
yeah,
Yeah, Piers Morgan is
I
not talking
Piers Morgan,
nonsense. It's
no, no,
just
no.
like the most
Piers
basic
Morgan
things that he's saying.
doesn't point out his nonsense, and
Yeah,
he's very sympathetic to him. But I
100%.
think if anybody else was there, was what what are you saying? Like I genuinely like. Still, maybe I don't really understand. Maybe he's, as many people claim, he's a genius, and he's just talks so fast that it just goes, above and
Yeah,
below my
maybe.
brain. And if anybody can explain his position in a good faith, I don't know, maybe there is a point to his view, but I don't get it at all. I really sometimes you get you don't agree, but you get that, okay, that's the rationale. But there is no rationale. It's just
Yeah.
he's talking literally nonsense, like
And he's
words. And
fooling a lot of his audience. So remember we did this video recently about the debate that Ben Shapiro had with Rokana. And everybody in the comment was saying, oh, what a civil debate, more of this. Oh, this is amazing, civil debate. Exact same things, this one. Like nothing about, if they
what are
agree
you
with,
expecting?
again, oh,
Two
civil
crazy
debate,
right
this is
wing.
amazing. We should see more of these. So, I mean, people writing in his comment section are ridiculous, but man, this Ben Shapiro guy is popular. But I mean, if I was teaching like a political science class, like a first year one, and I wanted to, just introduce the kids to some of the very basic arguments made between liberals and conservatives, because to me, Piers Morgan was giving like the typical basic, very rudimentary liberal arguments. I would point out to this video, and then the students would understand the examples, smoking and drunk driving. So it would be good for like a few 18-year-olds to, start thinking about these things. But
To be fair,
absolutely
I,
just stupid.
I wouldn't even say that. I would say it would put people, like, it would distort your, it's just as an educational thing. I
Yeah.
wouldn't ever use this. But I don't even, they put comments about civil debate under this because they are two crazy right-wingers that agree on pretty much everything except this one thing. So it's not
Yeah.
that weird that they managed to not kill each other while debating. Not that, everybody's for civil debate and all debates should be civil, but it's just, I hate this like
And
clapping
yeah.
of, oh, you managed to
But
talk to
Piers
each other
Morgan,
without
man, this is his
murdering.
skill. This is Piers Morgan's skill. He's a good actor, and he reads
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
audience and room perfectly. So he went from the attack that he does, if it's against like a left-wing liberal
Make
and his
America
TV exactly. Whereas here, he's all talk. I'm listening to you, trying to get
my
your
son,
side.
my,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, I mean, 10 out of 10 for the performance. I mean, I wonder if he can do these back to back. I'm sure he can. Just switching from one to another, just like boom, like that. So, kudos to you. And beautiful production by Ben Shapiro. I mean, these these places that have more money or whatnot, they should go get whoever's producing his stuff. Because whether it's just him in the studio, it's beautiful. This one was set up beautifully, like all black with those like
Oh, you
weird
mean
orange
like
lights. The set,
more left? Okay, no,
yeah,
no.
every
Or in left-wing channels should try to get his produce like
at least
some.
those who have the money, or even TV stations, because he had a nicer
Yeah, yeah.
setup than you see like major TV stations.
To be fair, yeah. With these type of contents, I mean, the studio and stuff. Like, I mean, look at ours. It's
Yeah,
pretty
well,
terrible. Like, admittedly,
yeah, but
but
if you have the money, I mean,
yeah, do it. But
yeah.
I would say whatever you do, don't do what Joe Rogan did, which is buy inside of a apparently
Jesus.
crashed alien spaceship. Is what I believe to be.
That's
Buy
so
that
true.
off
There
the
you go. Joe Rogan needs to hire Ben Shapiro's people, his branding, his
yeah,
production people, all these people.
cheap Jamie. But
Yeah.
seriously, what the hell is that? But yeah,
Yeah, no,
every
there you go.
time I
That's a
see
good
podcast
example.
these days,
That's perfect example,
yeah,
Sam.
yeah, and he definitely has the money. So, but
But
yeah, I would say this was pre-corona though, right? This interview.
no, I mean, he just uploaded it Saturday evening, and I mean, it was already
But
like
I
in
was just
few hundred
they
thousand.
they sitting very close even. I don't
You're
know why.
so right. But no, it's like a brand new one.
All right,
I'm
I thought it's
99%
pre-corona
sure.
because of the because of the sitting stuff and all that. And I thought I'm surprised he
And I
was in
mean,
UK.
Yeah, no, you're
Piers.
so right. I'm just checking his YouTube channel right now. Yeah, I mean, okay, he uploaded this video, yeah, 21 hours ago on Saturday, unless it was older, it was pre-recorded or something, yeah, perhaps.
Yeah,
I mean, based
whatever.
on the arguments, you can't tell if, if it was recorded 3 centuries ago.
Yeah. So our gun, yeah, since 1980s we've been talking about guns, the gun
Yeah,
regulation in the US. Yeah,
so
it's
I
hard
don't know.
to. Yeah, sorry,
Okay,
my
all
friend.
right. Well,
Just
on that note, I think I'm done
yeah,
with everything I had to say. If anybody wants to defend Ben Shapiro or point out how dumb we are and how we don't know anything, please feel free in the comment section below. We'll make sure to get to them. But if not, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like this video. Oh, and our outro is gonna be Ben Shapiro's outro just for this video because it's hilarious. So thank you, and we'll see you in our next video.
Did you know that every like on this video creates one additional leftist tear gleaming in the sunshine? Don't ask me why. That's called science. To take advantage of this amazing opportunity, hit the like button.